monsters! Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations 2. My name is SkiniMini.
And I'm Pharaoh.
Last episode, we've tried to bring Kay back with her memories to figure out who she was, or is. And turns out she remembers something very important. Turns out the stuffed animal bull was recording the time of the murder, apparently. So, oh boy. So that kind of stirred up a whole bunch of things. And so now we may be accusing Blaze as being the culprit because the culprit is technically the conductor. And the way Courtney's been talking, she seems like she's kind of aiding us. And I feel like she knows Blaze did it, but she can't go out and say it directly. So we'll see what happens. But we left off with Blaze saying, "Am I the culprit? Do you have evidence to prove that I'm the culprit?" And after looking through the organizer, I don't think we do. So I feel like we're gonna have to, like, get a testimony from him eventually to make him say something. Huh. So I don't have it.
Blaze himself has suggested that he is a criminal. He's been showing that strange self-confidence for a while now. He knows that there is not a single piece of evidence left behind to incriminate him. If you play with fire, you're gonna get burned, Edgeworth. Just kidding. I always wanted to say that, you know. Well then, Courtney.
Oh, thank God. I reckon I just remembered something too.
What? You also lost your memories?
No, that ain't it. Something just popped into my head just now. Very well. Please tell us.
Objection.
Son of a Blaze.
Courtney, could you tell me what you are doing?
Prosecutor Edgeworth will not give up until we have destroyed every last possibility. I'm destroying every possibility, so that he will never oppose us again. See, this is weird.
What?
It's just like she's helping us.
I don't know.
I feel like she's helping us, but I still don't trust her.
I mean, that's quite alright. I mean, it's kind of hard to, based on what we've seen, so... Justine! I don't really know what's going on, but well said!
You idiot.
Pops, I'm gonna help too. After all, he's the one who's wrong. Fine then. Let's hear what she has to say.
Well then, Miss Hart, please proceed. Sure thing. Just leave it to me.
Please make sure you only tell the truth.
So you don't screw up somebody else's life? Golly. Ain't that a matter of course? I'm a bona fide journalist for justice, you know?
Somehow I feel uneasy.
Y'all saying the culprit was the conductor, right? That means the victim was a customer. Now, here's where it gets a mite strange. You see, there were 11 people at the auction. When the auction continued after the incident, I went straight over and stuck a peek down below.
You don't mean...
That's exactly what I mean. All 11 people were still there, present and accounted for.
What?
Oh, crap. Are you sure about that? Sure, I'm sure. I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
So it started with 11 people, and then there were still 11 people after a murder. Was it a ghost? You know, Sebastian, normally a prosecutor would call that a contradiction, you know? Were there really no changes in the auction at all?
Really, I'm telling you, the auction just went on like normal. But there was one itty-bitty thing, though.
What was it?
You know those hammers you always see at an auction? Like the one that lady is using over there? An auction gavel, perhaps? Yep, that's the one.
Why can't it just be a gavel?
I know. All of a sudden, I couldn't hear the sound no more. It'd been just banging away just prior to it.
The sound of the gavel. Does that have anything to do with the case?
Oh, that's what she got hit with the head on.
Why am I imagining, like, you know, like they have like those toy gavels that you hit it like, boop, boop. that's kind of what I'm thinking of right now.
Oh, that's how I imagine the judge from the other Ace Attorney games. Order, order!
What the hell?
If Miss Hart's testimony is the truth, then this matter has taken a grave turn. If the victim was neither the conductor nor a customer, the very foundation of Prosecutor Edgeworth's reasoning would collapse.
Justice prevails, as they say. I hope you've learned your lesson, Mr. Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth, there really is nothing we can do.
It's not over yet. Some mysteries still remain. I have to think. If I don't, then Kay will be... Did you get the answer you wanted this time? Well then, a deal's a deal.
What the hell? Courtney! Please wait, Mr. Chairman. I believe it is still too early to make a judgment. There are still a few mysteries left in this case. Until we have solved them all, we cannot call this a complete victory. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Edgeworth? I was expecting you to shout. Hold it, like you always do.
Yes, of course. Once again, Judge Courtney has come to my aid. Well then, what is it? What sort of mysteries are left?
Well, of course, there's the contradiction in the autopsy report.
That kind of thing. I brought her in!
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, what's wrong? Why were we suddenly called here? Did someone suddenly get sick? I'll begin preparing a compressed stat. Ouch!
Sarah, is that you?
No, it's not Sada. What you called me here for? Did something happen? Dr. Young, Miss Jensen, you have my gratitude for taking the trouble to come here. This won't take long, so please relax. Tell me what in blazes is going on?
It's our country there.
I know, I was like, ooh, Lada came out. Of course, we called you up. We called you here because something came up.
Excuse me. Judge Courtney, just what are you planning?
Bonnie Young, under the divine rule of law, please answer truthfully. There was no mistakes in your autopsy report, correct? Granny would never make a mistake. That's certainly strange. Huh? What's strange? This court has found an error in Dr. Young's autopsy report. Dr. Young, please tell the truth. Did you falsify the autopsy report? That's terrible! How can you accuse her of that? I have no idea what you are talking about. Why would I do such a thing in the first place? To protect the true culprit, of course. What you talking about? I would never do such a thing. How strange. In that case, why would there be an error in the autopsy report, I wonder? Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you think? Sorry. Oh? I expected you to press into her statements like you normally do.
Why is she taking control of the situation, trying to help me?
Oh my god, Edward.
I don't know what her goal is, but I must play along. If the autopsy report you gave to Sebastian had been authentic, then the error should not have been there. Wait a minute! I didn't do anything! That is what we will figure out from this point on. Firstly, Dr. Young, I'd like to hear your testimony.
Why do you want to hear her testimony? It would be pointless.
I will be the one who decides whether or not it is pointless, not you.
There are patients waiting for us. But Granny, out! Oh, anyways, but we don't have time for this.
Is there any way I could convince you? This is of the utmost importance.
Mr. Miles Edgeworth, Granny says she'll testify. So please try to finish this quickly. If we don't return soon, there will be people in terrible suffering.
And yet, you were lollygagging about on the viewing platform earlier. I promise you, this won't take long. Only if she tells me the truth, of course.
Her glasses.
Must be like
She looks like... Huh?
So that must be like some really heavy prescriptions.
She looks like Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh crap! Yeah, that's right. I was gonna say Professor Farnsworth from Futurama.
Oh.
It's like they got together and had a baby. Boom. This is it.
Oh my god! Yes, it is.
Good news, everyone. I did it. Ew.
Oh god. Error in the autopsy report. There are no mistakes in Granny's autopsy reports. I've been working with the corpses longer than you've been alive. There's no way I'd make a mistake in writing the autopsy report. Ow! Ouch! I've got nothing to gain from falsifying the autopsy report. Is what she says. See? There's nothing strange at all.
Yes, that's right, you know. There's no way she would falsify it, you see?
Under the name of the Goddess of Law, do you swear that this testimony is the truth? Of course! Granny would never tell a lie.
We were asking Dr. Young. We do not need to hear from a third party.
I'm not a third party. I'm on Granny's side. If you raise an objection to my testimony, you best be prepared. You best prepare yourself, you ex-prosecutor.
I will definitely expose the contradiction in the autopsy report.
Okay. There are no mistakes. I've been working on corpses longer than alive. There's no way I'd make... she hits her in it, and it's really funny. Wait. I just did it again. Sorry. It was funny.
I keep doing it over and over again. It's like you can skip it and it just goes right to the animation.
That's so funny. I've got nothing to gain from falsifying the autopsy report. I want to press on that.
Okay. You may have nothing to gain, but how about your granddaughter?
Me? There isn't anything I could gain. If Karen had something to gain, then that girl of yours might have something too. How dare you accuse my little girl who has never done harm to anybody? Yeah, aren't you ashamed of yourself?
She should address those words to Blaze instead of me.
I swear that the autopsy report wasn't falsified. Is what she says. See, there's nothing strange at all. But there's no way I'd make a mistake in the report. Sorry, this is really funny. Okay, hold on. I'll go to the end. It doesn't look like Granny is lying.
Miss Jensen is the one who is relaying Dr. Young's words. I have to confirm whether or not Miss Jensen is telling us the truth.
So I feel like we have to keep pressing.
Well, maybe.
Unless, hold on. Let me look at... Because we have the autopsy report, which we know it's like,
Yeah, but we're still trying to determine, like, what about it shows that it was falsified, or if there's any evidence of that, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like we do, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. Because we have... I want to kind of use the meeting room blood, because that's a lot of blood. Or the blood on the lift again. I don't know.
It's up to you.
I don't know. There are no mistakes in Grady's autopsy report. I've been working with corpses longer than you've been alive. There's no... There's no way I'd make a mistake in the autopsy report. Ouch.
Why?
I got nothing to gain. Huh?
But I'm even wondering why she even smacked her. Just for the hell of it?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, it's funny, but I think that may be something. So, I want to press on that.
The victim wore this raincoat after suffering a blow to the head. And yet, there is not a single drop of blood on the front of the raincoat. Therefore, it's impossible for the head wound to have been post-mortem.
Well, that's out. I don't need you to tell me that. That's why I wrote down from the very beginning.
The autopsy report says the head wound was post-mortem. That's completely different.
Yeah. I relayed to Karen what to put down in the autopsy report. After that, there was none of my beeswax.
Relayed to Karen? Please elaborate on that.
Elaborate?
Elaborate.
I relayed everything to Karen. After that, it was none of my beeswax. She relayed everything to Karen? What does that mean, Press?
Come on, there we go.
Oh.
I would like to...
it's just the same thing.
I would like to verify once again what you saw when you examined the body. Ouch.
Oh, wait, why was that fast forwarding?
I don't know. Yeah, oh crap, yeah, I'm fast forwarding too. We're...
Okay, before she died, of course, that's Karen.
Okay.
Before she died, of course. Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, before she died, of course, the wounds on her chest were post-mortem. That's what I relayed to Karen's. Dang it. Karen. So that's what should have been written in the report.
That's what you relayed to her? That's what you relayed to her, eh? I'm finally beginning to see the truth. So... this new statement, I relayed everything to Karen.
I think she told Karen, and Karen actually, like, said it wrong, because I think she's being blackmailed. Or doing something to protect somebody. She's doing it to protect her grandmother. That's what I think.
So what do you think we should do with the new piece of evidence or new piece of statement that we got?
What do we need to present? I feel like we need to present the actual autopsy report, because it's like, this is not what you wrote!
Wanna give it a shot?
Yeah. This is not what you wrote! Nope, that wasn't it. Oh, it was it. Okay, the music didn't stop, so I freaked out.
It's like, oh no! Dr. Young, please confirm what this autopsy report says with your own eyes.
I'll read it out loud for you. Ouch! This autopsy report wasn't written by me.
What? What do you mean?
Ow!
That noise. Damn!
Jeez. The hell was that?
Three Stooges act.
I don't know. Ow! But Granny, I can't say that. Ow! Miss Jensen, if you're trying to keep the truth in the dark, then... in place of the goddess of law, I shall hear your confession.
Judge Courtney is talking with Dr. Young in private.
What? Is that true? Understood. I shall convey your words to everyone else, Dr. Young. I properly relay the autopsy report orally to that child. It seems my granddaughter must have mucked it up when she was writing it down. Wow! She mimicked her... Oh. I didn't do it. She mimicked her voice perfectly!
There was no need for her to go that far, though. In other words, the contents of the autopsy report have been falsified. By your hand, Miss Jensen.
Oh, With that, we've proven that the wound on her head came first, followed by her chest wound. Miss Jensen, why did you falsify the autopsy report?
Hold on a second. She never said she falsified it, you know. She just made a teeny tiny mistake when she wrote it down.
It's not...
Post-mortem and ante-mortem sound kinda similar, you know?
Get your...
They are complete opposites. That is a very definition of falsification.
Miss Jensen, why would you lie? Okay, ouch! I want you to tell me, too. Why would you do something like that? Granny, but I...
Because you falsified the autopsy report, Kay fell under suspicion. Tell me why you did it!
I can't say! I just can't say it!
Not I don't want to say, but I can't say? You're all a bunch of bullies, you know. Ganging up on this poor girl who loves her grandmother so. She's totally unrelated to this. I think we can forgive her for one tiny mistake.
Okay, you're the one that's pressuring her not to say anything.
That won't do. Aren't you the one with the most to lose if she testifies? What are you saying? You see, as a former prosecutor, you'll have to speak a little more clearly, you know. Very well. As you wish, I shall answer clearly. Miss Jensen played an essential role in this case.
She was an accomplice! She's not the...
How does somebody actually select them? They're like, oops.
Oops. Okay, she was an accomplice.
Miss Jensen falsified the autopsy report in order to assist the true culprit.
Ouch! Got it!
This girl is an accomplice? What's your basis for that claim? It was impossible for a single person to commit this crime in the first place. The crime could not have been committed without at least two people. Namely because...
Oh god, why is it so squished? I can't read it.
Because it's too much.
Oh, the victim couldn't have been moved, the number of people wouldn't match, and the report couldn't have been faked. I think it's... Crime could not have been committed without at least two people, mainly because, what it means the number of people wouldn't match? Is it talking about, like, the 11 people?
I believe so.
So I think that's why.
Let's give it a shot.
Alright.
If the conductor was the culprit, and one of the auction guests was the victim, it would contradict the witness's testimony that there were 11 people after the incident.
What now? You got a problem with my testimony?
Not at all. Rather, it is because I believe your testimony that's why an accomplice must exist. So, you still won't admit that your reasoning is wrong. Up until now, we had not even considered the possibility of an accomplice. However, if there had been an accomplice, it changes the entire story completely. If the accomplice took the murdered auction guest's place, the number of people remains 11. Oh, I see now. So that's what you're thinking. But you know, wouldn't that have been quickly discovered? Miss Jensen and the victim had similar physiques. If she wore the victim's mask, she could have easily taken her place. Miss Jensen, did you switch places with the victim?
I wouldn't!
Who was the conductor? In other words, tell me who was the true culprit.
I can't! I mean, that would also cause trouble for Granny! Ouch! But Granny, I will accept whatever wrongs you may have done. Just tell me everything. Granny! Granny! Oh, she looked like a palm tree.
As I thought, it appears you really were the accomplice.
Miss Jensen, why? Miss Jensen, would you please tell us? Yes. It's okay, Granny. I'm fine now. I switched places with the victim, Miss Crane.
So you admit to being the conductor's accomplice?
Yes. I helped out the conductor. I don't really know why, but for some reason, the conductor was expecting to be attacked by Miss Crane.
The conductor expected an attack from the victim.
They were so sure it was going to happen when they came up with a plan to counter it. A way to beat the victim at her own game. And that's when I was called in. I was told to wait in the storeroom before the auction began. Whoa there! You ain't fooling my eyes! Sorry, that was a weird way to read it.
No, you're good.
If you were waiting in the storeroom, I reckon I would have bumped into you. After all, I'd been up in that storeroom for the entire auction. I'm telling the truth.
I wonder about that, you know. Can we really believe a girl who would falsify a report?
Objection!
There should have been many places to hide in that storeroom. Then by all means, tell me, where did our little nurse hide? The place in the storeroom where Miss Jensen hid was...
I could end the episode, but I don't think I will.
I think we should keep going.
Okay. I think in the costume trunk, because that's the only place where I actually could hide. I mean, I don't think anywhere else she could hide in the evidence we got.
Okay.
You okay? You keep yawning.
I'm sorry.
Take
that! She hid inside this costume trunk. Costume trunk, eh?
Ah, now that you mention it, that box was already there before I snuck in. I figured I would hide in there myself, but it was wrapped up nice and tight with the chain. And it was locked too, so I had to give it up.
I suspect that when you sneaked into the room, Miss Jensen was already inside the trunk.
Yes, it would have been bad if one of the guests from the auction had opened the lid. After instructing me to hide inside, the conductor wrapped a chain around the costume trunk. I think they went downstairs using the lift shortly thereafter. It was right before the auction. So then...
Oh, that's me. So that when the auction began, only you and Miss Hart were in the storeroom.
Yes, that should be right.
The auction had been going on as usual, but when a certain participant made the winning bid, the conductor committed the crime. Miss Hart must have heard the altercation that occurred then.
Yeah, dang it! You betcha! I was trembling behind that there statue that whole time, though.
Following the altercation, Jill Crane was murdered. After killing Jill Crane, the conductor carried her body to the costume trunk. And Miss Jensen, who had been hiding in the trunk, was made to take Miss Crane's place. The victim's body was placed inside the costume trunk. The conductor then took Miss Jensen, who had been made to look like Jill Crane, and returned to the auction hall as if nothing had happened. was this roughly what happened in the storeroom during the incident?
Yes, that's right. Pulling the old switcheroo with one of the auction guests? Ain't that impossible? That gal and the murder victim are two completely different people, you know? Don't you reckon one of the other participants would have noticed and caused a ruckus?
No, not at all. The reason they didn't notice the switch was because...
she stole the victim's clothes.
From what I can tell, Miss Jensen and the victim appear to have a similar physique. Furthermore, there was a rule requiring a mask to be worn during the auction. If the clothes were the same, I doubt anyone would have noticed she was a different person.
Yes, I blended right in. I borrowed Miss Crane's clothes and— Ouch! You mustn't embarrass the dead like that. I know. I also thought it was pretty heartless to leave her exposed like that. So when the conductor wasn't looking, I covered her up in the raincoat that was up for the auction.
So she was the one who put the red raincoat on the victim. And then the auction resumed as if nothing had happened.
I reckon I took the picture of her in the red raincoat after that. That'd make all the facts line up. After I took the photo, I went over to the lift to sneak a peek below. I witnessed the 11 participants, and then I hightailed it back behind that statue.
Don't tell me. You were hiding there the entire time until we found you.
Nah, that's— how should I put it?
What is it? Did something happen?
I didn't mention it before, but after that I might have dozed off a little. To be more precise, I fainted? Well, something like that.
Something did happen!
It ain't no big deal. Kind of embarrassing to say, though. There was this huge thump sound all of a sudden. I was a little surprised by that. It was right after I had just witnessed a murder, too, so I was shaking in my boots. My heart sort of tightened up and I was sort of off to La La Land. When I woke up, it was already the next day, around the time y'all came by the storeroom.
I see. So there was a large sound. Miss Hart, I take it you do not know what transpired in the storeroom beyond that point.
I guess, but after the auction, all the masks were properly returned. So I reckon the participants had exited through the storeroom, just like I done said.
Miss Jensen, what were your actions after the auction resumed?
I took the victim's place and participated in the auction. The conductor instructed me to win the bid for the costume trunk, because the body was inside it. It would have been bad if another auction guest won the bid for it.
You didn't realize the box was empty.
No, we only found out when I came up to the storeroom to pay the bill. The conductor was with me and told me to go search for her immediately. And then I found another girl collapsed in front of the ladder. Oh!
Kay.
Yes, she probably fell down from the roof and lost consciousness. Maybe the victim left the hatch open when she went up to the rooftop.
I understand now. Kay was surprised at seeing the collapsed victim and did not notice the open hatch. She must have missed her footing and fell down into the storeroom. Miss Hart, I have determined the sound that made you faint. It was likely the sound of Kay falling onto the storeroom floor.
That might have been it, though I'd reckon it'd be kind of pathetic to faint over something like that.
When Miss Jensen found the unconscious Kay, Miss Hart was also unconscious behind the statue. The situation is becoming clearer to me. Miss Jensen, please continue your story.
After I found Kay and the victim, I put them both in the trunk. If the customers at the auction found out, there would have been a huge commotion.
Was there an order from the conductor as well?
Yes, it was. But since I secretly decided to put the raincoat on Miss Crane, I had to dispose of the raincoat without the conductor noticing.
So the conductor didn't anticipate the raincoat becoming another piece of evidence.
And finally, we dressed Miss Crane in a spare conductor's outfit.
I see. In doing so, you made the victim appear as if she was the conductor.
In the end, the auction ended up without anyone noticing anything.
Miss Jensen, your crimes have become clear. If you know anything else, please hold nothing back.
I want to help you more, but that is all I know. If I had to say, there is just one more thing that bothers me. When I took Miss Crane's place, I borrowed her clothes. But there was no way for me to borrow her hair. Ouch! What kind of coroner's assistant goes around stealing a corpse's hair?
I would think that robbing the deceased of their clothes would be questionable enough.
Both the color and the length of our hair is different, so I was worried about how to disguise it. However, the conductor even had a wig prepared for me. In fact, he had 2 of them. Inside the costume trunk, there was both a straight wig and a wavy wig.
2 wigs? Why were there 2?
Oh, who knows? Maybe it was a precaution in case the victim had changed her hairstyle? I ended up using the straight wig to match Miss Crane's hair.
So that means the wavy wig was left unused. Okay. Is that really all you know?
Yes. Yep, that's really all I know.
So that means you don't know who the conductor is.
I'm sorry. I only knew that person as the auction conductor. I never saw that person without a mask on. The conductor seemed to be on guard towards everybody.
Oh, at this rate. Haha, I would laugh, but... Edgeworth, is that all you've got? Even if that little nurse is an accomplice, it changes absolutely nothing, you know? In the end, the true culprit is still Kay Faraday. All you did was add another criminal, you know? The rule of law cannot be overturned. At least, not for your sake. Is this as far as I go? Am I unable to save Kay?
No!
Oh, thank you.
Seven Karma. Oh, thank God.
Franziska, why are you here?
Didn't I tell you, Miles Edgeworth? Wherever there is a case, I will follow. Prosecutor Von Karma, your hard work is most appreciated. However, don't get the wrong idea. I only came here to find out the truth behind what happened to Kay Faraday. I don't plan on forgiving you for abandoning the prosecutor's path. Roll credits.
I understand.
You should thank your former subordinate. He gave me some valuable information which may save Kay Faraday.
Detective Gumshoe did.
Listen well, Miles Edgeworth. This will be the final piece of evidence. Jill Crane suffered the wound on her head first. Well, somebody say something!
Well, I hate to say it, but, we already proved that.
Already proved? What?
That delivery.
Stop laughing at my delivery.
It was cute, though.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible.
Shut up. It was
Already proved?
proved.
There we go.
It was good. I liked it.
Ah!
Yes, well, just a few moments ago.
You should have told me sooner!
You're the one who barged in here and started talking.
They're such siblings, it's weird. Well then, does that mean you found out what the murder weapon was already?
No, not yet.
Is that so? In that case, listen well. The victim was struck on the head with a blunt cylindrical object. The gavel! The wound on her chest was suffered post-mortem.
A cylindrical murder weapon.
The gavel!
You know, this report of yours. I trust it's accurate, of course.
These were the result of 2 independent autopsies carried out by 2 respected doctors.
Objection.
That's reassuring. But it's too bad. Okay.
Interpol is after the black market auctions, and I'm the prosecutor in charge of the investigation. The victim participated in the auction. Therefore, it is only natural for me to investigate. Especially now that she's been murdered.
I see, I see. Clever girl, little Von Karma.
Oh, then it has been settled. The victim died from blunt force trauma to the head.
Ouch.
Unfortunately, the murder weapon has yet to be found.
Just knowing the shape of the murder weapon gives me an idea of what it might be.
It's a gavel!
Hey! In my investigation, we didn't find any other murder weapons, you know? If you consider the conductor's possessions in the crime scene, the answer should be clear.
The gavel!
The blunt cylindrical object used in the auction hall was... Yeah, it's a gavel, but which one?
Damn it! Are you serious? This episode's gone long enough, but
I know, I mean, we're kind of almost there, but if you want, you can probably split it in 2 in editing, so...
No, I'm not gonna do that. That's fine. Alright, let's do... It's an auction gavel.
Okay.
God.
It's a gavel! The game's like, yeah, I know, which one?
Dang it, you can't do that to me, game! Freaking...
Ah. It was something that the conductor had in the hand during the auction. Namely, an auction gavel.
It's a gavel!
An auction gavel? We didn't find anything like that.
If the culprit is the conductor, it is possible that the gavel may be the murder weapon. However, that alone is not reason enough. Wouldn't you agree?
Of course. I have proof to back it up.
We do?
This piece of evidence proves that the murder weapon is an auction gavel.
Okay. Oh my god! I just realized something. I think I know what the other wig was used for. And I think... Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry. Okay, what are we finding? The piece of evidence that proves the murder weapon is the auction gavel.
Yep.
Shoot. My train of thought just left. What do we have? We have proofs that the murder... What do we have? What do we have? Oh my god. I have no idea. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? You know what? I'm just gonna stop the episode here because I don't want to. It's too long. My computer's getting hot. So, in the next episode, we'll find out what piece of evidence proves that the murder weapon is the auction gavel. And then we'll just go through the to be continued part once we get to it. So, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Alright guys, thank you so very much for watching and your patience. If no one told you that they love you today, we do.
Oh, have a great day, everybody.